hoodlums or body snatchers? You ain't dressed for body snatching, so I'm guessing you guys are a bunch of hoodlums. Well, let me introduce myself. My name is John Jones. I describe myself as a machinist, an inventor, and an astronomer. My wife has a whole list of things she calls me too, but I'm not going through that right now. We had 5 sons. Can anybody name them? No. Horatio, Charles, Francis, Arthur, and Elmer. Now it all started in a small carriage shop in the city of Lyons, and later went to a manufacturing plant on Jackson Street in Palmyra. I got the nickname as the father of the typewriter when I patented my first invention, a personal and portable typograph machine. It was one of the first mass-produced typewriters in the world. 130 were built, but unfortunately, the factory, the Rochester Novelty Works, burnt down, and so did my typewriters. In 1855, we moved to Palmyra, where I paid $600 for a block of land to build a house, and later a manufacturing facility to produce printing presses and cutting machines. The Erie Canal made transporting these goods very easy, and we could ship them worldwide. My company had over 100 men and women working at one time. My company was called the John M. Jones Company. We built clamshell style platen jobbers, similar to the one you see here on this little stand. As it's being used, it opens and closes kind of like a clamshell, hence the name clamshell style platen jobber. Life in Palmyra was pretty good, except for the time during the war between the states. I spent time in Tennessee working in a carriage shop and feeding the troops. Once the war was done, I returned to Palmyra and picked up where we left off. I came up with an incandescent lamp powered with batteries, and I put the batteries underneath the dining room table, drilled a hole in the table, ran the wires up through it to the bulb. We actually had dinner by electric light 10 years before Joseph Swan and 12 years before Thomas Edison patented the light bulb. After my sweet Clorinda passed away, I sold the ownership of my business to my son Charles and his partners in 1898. Over the years, I received additional patents for agricultural tools and machines, and I also received a patent for improvement in planetarium. It was a box that had all the planets circling around the sun, and you could see what the relationship to each was at the time. Well, it seems to be getting kind of late. I know you folks got things to do, so I'm going to say good night and have safe travels.
Thank you.
How are we doing this? Well, it's not quite evening yet.
Not quite evening,
I can't
Pirate
sneak up on
Whitley.
anyone and pick through their pockets.
I'm sorry.
That's quite all right.
Hold your wallets close, folks.
Challenge accepted. Where's my lovely Giselle at? Oh, my dear, you're here. Oh, come forward, come forward. You can help me here. So it's so fantastic. I found another one named Giselle. It seems to happen every year.
Of them.
Oh, you're too far away. It's been so long. Oceans, yes. See, oh, it's so nice. Everybody, I want you to read what you can't say. It's news to you, isn't it? Yes, yes. Yes, well. Did you know I'm actually from around here? Yes. My name is Captain Whitley. I owned a home over where the museums are. You know that big old thing they call a parking lot? Yes. I had one of the big houses in the old village. However, I did sort of neglect to pay attention to property lines and built part of the house on a judge's property. Not all that wise, if you ask me, you know, I blame this. The one and only time I blame this. So, yes, so, as fine of a character as I am, I did decide to sell it for a rather steal to a certain general who is convinced to this day that I have treasure in the many tunnels that they did discover. But I'll never give it away. I might, yeah. They might.
You can share.
I've learned my lesson. I don't think I'm going to share that secret with you. Please help me just a little more. But feel free, folks, to scurry along, shove off, whatever you want to do. I'm sure we'll find each other a little more later on. I'm going to warm myself up now.
Would you care to share?
Not at all.
Oh.
That's perfect right there. Don't spread out too far. Please, please, come together. Come together.
I'll be right in the middle.
There's always one of those people in the group. Yes, get cozy together. Please, please. Forgive me, I didn't say move forward. Okay. Hold still. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I have been resting here since November 15th, 1927, waiting for all of you. And now that you're here, allow me to introduce myself. My name is George Elton. I was born in Toronto, Canada, and I lived on a farm in Canandaigua for a time. What good stock do I hail from? Let me tell you. My great-grandfather fought in your war for independence. My grandfather was in the War of 1812, and my father gave up his life at the Battle of Gettysburg. Patriots, good and true they were. As for me, I was too young for the Civil War. So at the age of 13, I came here to Palmyra. And it was in Palmyra where I was impressed with the photographer, Mr. Vail. He was so clever. And I thought it would be wise of me to study under his experienced eye. I talked to Mr. Vail, and he said I was a small child, but he did eventually hire me on. And we worked together for many years until I became his partner. And in 1880, when Mr. Vail went to Geneva, I bought the business from him. And I worked in that gallery for 55 years. Now some say that I was the oldest man to continue working in the same business. I don't know about that, but I will tell you this. I was steadfast. Now although my life passed in 1927, my old sign lingered on, pointing the way to the studio on Exchange Row, which is what it used to be called. Yes, the infamous pointing hand directed folks to the third floor of my shop, until a shoe shop owner finally took it down. But I suppose that's life. That is life. Life is what I observed through the lens of the camera. As a photographer, you can only guess how many pictures I have taken through the years. Civil War soldiers, school children, theater productions, men and women at work and at home, even a man darning socks, like Mr. Adicott. That Mr. Adicott. Have you ever heard of George Eastman? Of course you have. I knew him well, and I used many of his products. And some of my work earned me 8 gold medals. And many of my pieces are hanging today in the Historical Museum. Perhaps you'd like to go down and take a look for yourself. Yes, it was a good life, doing what I loved to do. I suppose I should allow you to go on the road. After all, you have many more folks to meet tonight, but do allow me to ask you one favor. Would you come back again sometime and maybe just give me a smile?
Evening.
Hello.
I heard we might have company. Horace, they're here. Horace. Oh, I don't know where that man is. Oh, he's always off doing something. Oh, I'm so delighted to have all of you here in our town. Let me tell you about us. I am Anna Ruth Webster Eaton, and I was born in 1823 to Nathaniel and Betsy Webster in New Hampshire. I grew up in a house filled full of faith. My father was a reverend, my grandfather was a deacon, and Horace, who was born in 1810, would become the reverend here at the Western Presbyterian Church. Horace started his journey in life as a watchmaker and silversmith, but finally answered that calling. Anybody who has sat in his pews know what a great reverend he was. In 1839, in 1843, he graduated from his theology class with his Doctor of Divinity. And in 1845, I would become Mrs. Eaton. Girls, isn't he a dream? He was mine. In 46, we'd have our first of 5 children. We would have Horace, and then we would have John in 48. In 1849, Horace would take the call here in Palmyra, where for 3 decades, that's right, from 1849 through 1879, he would preach every week faithfully, and we would fill that church with folks from all around, and we took pride that our church welcomed everybody. We had our brothers and sisters of color sitting right side along us, and that was huge in those days, and we took such pride in that. In 1851, we would have our sweet Anna, who sadly would pass at 2 years old. We welcomed Mary in 1853, and Elizabeth, our final child, in 1857. So we had a busy life. Horace, though, truly was called to preach to all, and so along with Mr. Sexton, Pliny Sexton, not Pliny T. Sexton, so if you've met them both along tonight, you know there's a difference. With Mr. Sexton, they would work hard to ensure that our friends of color had safe journey to Pulteneyville, where they could grab free passage to freedom. And this was a true calling for us. We truly believe that all should be treated fairly and equally and have freedom. Horace lived and worked here in Palmyra until his death of 83. We left the church in 1880. In 83, after 34 years of marriage, I would bury him, sadly. In 1881, though, I did add becoming an author to my list of accomplishments, where I wrote the origins of the Book of Mormon. So any of you who are familiar with our fine town, Mormons play a very big role, and I wanted to make sure you all could read about what Joseph Smith shared with me. In 1884, I wrote Horace's memoirs because I wanted you to know what a fine man he was. He truly was a Doctor of Divinity, and I wanted to make sure that that was captured. Sadly, in 1910, in our house at 155 Canandaigua Street, which still stays today, I would pass away. Elizabeth, our only living child, so yes, I buried 4 of my children, would bury me here, and then she would join me later. We enjoyed our life here. We had a life filled with family and faith, and we believed all belonged here in Palmyra, and I hope you do too. I hope you are enjoying your travels tonight. I hope you have a great time. Oh, I was told to tell you, we don't want any gossips or rumors started. If you notice little Mr. Baby Landon over here, right? Some of you might think, what's the story there? Baby Landon is not Elizabeth's. Please do not pass that rumor around. We were a fine family. Baby Landon was actually born to Reverend Landon and his wife when they took the pulpit in 1880. Sadly, he would not survive. So she entrusted me with her precious baby, and he is laid to rest here, and they're buried elsewhere. So make sure we don't spread any rumors.
No rumors.
No. Have a great night, folks.
Thank you, Anna.
Hello, Miss Tracy. How are you?
Hello, Dr. Adams. How are you?
Good. It is so good to see you again. You're looking great.
Thank you, thank you.
Are these the referrals you brought to me that we were talking about last week that you were going to bring today?
Possibly.
That is wonderful. I am Dr. Harriet Adams at your service. I have been in this cemetery since 1886. You see, medicine was my calling. I had
A cough drop.
I had a cough drop, and I'm so sorry. I just went up the wrong way. Medicine was my calling. In such a time, it was unacceptable for women to be doctors. So many people have said to me, well, Harriet, why did you become a doctor and do what you do? Well, that is a good question, but I have a simple answer. You see, you must do what you are called to do, no matter what the trial. I went to school with Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell. We were very good friends. Dr. Blackwell and I, we broke the old mold of the thinking that a woman's place is only in the home and only men could be doctors. Yeah, we showed them that it just wasn't so. You know, have any of you read the new book by Thomas Cook, his famous book, Palmyra and Its Vicinity? It's a very delightful book. He goes on to talk about every resident and every business in Palmyra from its beginning until about the 1930s. That is, every business and every resident, except for me. I am not mentioned once in this book. That goes to show the little of the attitude towards a woman doctor. This book, I am not recommending it to anybody. In fact, I don't want to look at it. I feel like it's going to give me a brain aneurysm. Anyway, I charge $5 for a baby delivery, 75 cents for a doctor visit. In my office, it was very typical to have my office in my home. My home was on East Main Street. It's still there today. It's somewhat across the street from the building that O.J. Garlock would buy from Dr. Chase. There are many doctors in the area. We serve the entire county. In fact, I got a little funny for you. Being that I'm a woman doctor, men would not come to see me. They thought, well, she's a quack. Well, she doesn't have the brain capacity. What does she know? Well, I'd rather die instead of having a female doctor touch me. Because of that attitude, some of these men are in the cemetery now. I was in practice for 30 years. All the women would come to see me. I was good with that. But then, a brain tumor ended my life. We know this because an autopsy found that tumor. I had a very wonderful life. It was very good and productive. I am buried here next to my very good friends, Pliny T. Sexton, and his father, Pliny Sexton. Did you hear that? Did anybody hear that? No. I heard it.
Oh no.
That sounds like Mrs. Durfee has just gone into labor. I'm on my way, Mrs. Durfee. I will be back. I'm getting rid of my patients here so I can deliver your baby. Let's hope she's having twins. I've got to get going. So, thank you for the visit. If you ever want to see a doctor, please stop on by and help yourself to some cough drops. 'Tis the season for that.
Well, good evening.
How are
I'm
you?
very good. I'm just catching up on some of the latest business news tonight. Well, thank you for coming to visit me. My name is Olin J. Garlock. Everyone calls me OJ, and I do hope that you will do the same. I was born down the way in Port Gibson. My father was a farmer, and he moved our family here to Palmyra when I was just a young boy. Around the age of 13, I dropped out of school. Now, that is not something I would recommend to any of you tonight, and in fact, I'm quite certain that had I stayed in school, things would have gone much easier for me. But anyway, after leaving school, I was able to get a job working as an operating engineer. Now, a man I knew was named Mr. John Bulmer. You may have noticed his stone just down the hill as you turned the corner to come up this way. Now, Mr. Bulmer, he was a collector of anything and everything. And he once told me to hang on to an old piece of rubber fire hose that I was getting ready to throw away. He said, you just never know when you might need that piece of fire hose. So I put it over in the corner on top of the boiler, and I let it sit there till I needed it. Well, needless to say, that day arrived when I was asked to fix the stuffing box on an old leaking steam engine. You know, I tried and tried to fix that leak to no avail. I don't mind telling you, I was getting pretty frustrated and I was ready to quit. And then I thought, what about that old piece of rubber fire hose? So I took that hose and I sliced it into strips to make little rings. And I put those rings in some oil. You know what? Soaking in the oil was just taking too long. I had to figure out a way to speed that up. I thought, and then I thought, what if I put it on top of the boiler where it's warm? Maybe the heat will help. And you know what? That was it. It worked great. And that was just the start of everything for me. Before long, I was making those little rings and I was selling them for 50 cents a piece.
Wow.
Sometimes even $1 or $2, but never anything more than that. Now, I formed a few partnerships with my cousins, Crandall and Nichols, along with a few other men in town. And those partnerships eventually became the Garlock Packaging Company in 1887. Now, we opened our first factory just along the way here in a space of ground that was between East Main Street and Catherine Street. Things were going great for us. Business was wonderful. But unfortunately, we had a fire. And after the fire, Crandall came to me and he said he'd like me to buy him out of the business, which I did. And then another man named Hennessy, he came and he asked the same thing. Well, that opened the door, and soon enough, all my partners had left me. But I kept working with the Garlock Packaging Company, and pretty soon, in 1905, we built a new boiler house and a new building just across the canal on a piece of ground near the railway station. Well, that building was the start of progressive growth for our company. Pretty soon, we had buildings and factories sprouting up everywhere. Why, we had an office in Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Denver, San Francisco, Los Angeles, just to name a few. We even had offices in Canada, Germany, and France. Would you believe that our catalog was printed in 5 languages? The Garlock Packaging was known for its packing and sealing materials worldwide. In fact, along the way, we even acquired some of our competitors, like the Dealers Steam Packaging Company, Triumph Packaging Company, and the Pitt Metal Packing Company. When we had done that, we were the largest company of our kind anywhere in the world. Well, near 120 years now after we incorporated the company, I hear it's still going on today. I understand that maybe it's going through some reorganization, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens. But for a company to be around as long as Garlock, that's something to be proud of. And I am very proud of the contribution that I made to America and to my Palmyra. When you came in this evening, you may have noticed the arch in front of the cemetery. How appropriate it is that that arch is there to honor my parents along with my Uncle John and Aunt Sarah. You know, business was always good to me in Palmyra, but life was even better. Well, I know you've got to move along, so I'll say goodbye. But come back and see me sometime. I'm right here all the time, not like when I was traveling the world with the Garlock Packaging Company. Thanks and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Welcome, everybody.
Good evening,
Good
Phelps
evening.
Good evening.
family. How
Good
are
evening.
you this
Good.
evening?
How are you?
We're doing very well.
Very good.
Very well.
Welcome. My name is William Phelps. I was born on May 15th, 1832 in Plessis, New York. Does anybody know where Plessis, New York is?
No.
No one?
No.
It's about 2 miles south of Alexandria Bay, up in the Thousand Islands, just north of Watertown. I think that's a playland for you folks nowadays. But welcome, thank you.
William, did you forget to introduce me again? Are you getting? He's getting so old. He's getting so.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
This is
no.
this is my wonderful wife, Catherine.
My name is Catherine Smith Phelps, and I was born on November 10th in 1830. William and I had 2 amazing children, Julius and Mary Louise. Mary Louise was born in 1858, and Julius was born in 1868. 1868, wasn't that a wonderful year for us?
It was a wonderful year. As a matter of fact, 1868 was the year we moved to Palmyra, and we purchased a piece of property on Market Street, just north of Main Street, and we opened the William Phelps General Store.
We loved that store so much, didn't we, William? We spent so much time there.
We did, and I had some wonderful times there. I love this town, by the way. I ended up to be the village treasurer, as also the police justice. And in 1876, I was the village president, and I also served on the school board.
You loved to serve the public, didn't you?
I did.
You just did so much for the public, and I was so proud of you. That was the one thing that really attracted me to you and why I loved you so much.
I appreciate that. And
He's speechless.
I'm sorry. Did I compliment you too much?
you complimented me too much. So, yes, my wife passed away. What year was that?
Oh, you're right. I forgot to tell them about that, didn't I? I passed away in 1907. I was 76 years old. That's pretty. Nowadays,
It was one of the saddest times of my life, and I passed away 10 years later. I was 84.
And we were married 50 plus years.
We were.
50 plus years. That's a long time.
And then years later, our granddaughter Sybil remained on the property on the second and third floor above the store, which was closed. And it was so sad. She died, believe it or not, and some of you might remember 1976. Okay, she passed away in 76, and she passed away. And what was so sad was 1976, all those years she lived, she died at the age of 81. She had no running water, she had no plumbing, and she had no electricity. And sadly, at that point, we really didn't have much family left, so there was nobody to turn the property over to. But the good news for us was, in 1980, Historic Palmyra purchased the building and turned it into a museum. So I strongly recommend you all visit it, and we always love guests. Thank you.
You're back. All right, back. Upping's back.
You're back. We're back.
All right.
We never left.
Neither did I. Well, I thought I did. I went and found my treasure. I'm still searching.
Oh,
I did get it away from Rogers, and then it left again, and we're trying to find it again.
any luck?
It's getting close.
Oh.
But where's my Giselle at?
Oh.
Oh, there she is again! Guess what? It's story time!
Oh.
I didn't do it. Now, my dear, this is the time. The way we met, it was like a fairy tale, really, wasn't it? And she tells it so fantastically. Why don't you share how the day we met?
I think I like it when you tell it better.
I don't like telling it. I was too drunk.
Yeah, I was too, I think.
That might explain why she's in this situation right now. All right, I suppose I'll let you off the hook.
I appreciate it.
Okay, well, enjoy. I'm going to go find Rogers and see what he tells you off to do. I shall see you later, my friend.
Oh, the cops are coming. Hear the sirens?
Yeah, yeah.
If the police officer asks, I wasn't here.
Goodness gracious. Folks, gather around. What kind of motley mob is this?
Hi, Chief.
I haven't seen anything like this since the cider gang. Some of you look kind of familiar. I think I've seen, yeah.
This one right here.
Yeah, okay. Well, I might know some of you, but who knows who I am? Probably don't want to know.
Chief Henry Hilborn.
And thank you for saying chief. boy, it's only been a few years now since I was a night watchman back in 1920 when Palmyra hit the big time. That's right, they paved the roads. And the village board of trustees got together and they said, we need someone to keep law and order in this town. So they looked around and they went to Rochester, the big city, and they found me, just a young buck at the time. And they wanted someone who was honest and dependable, yada yada. I came to Palmyra. I feel like I cleaned things up pretty good. I think so. One of the first moves I did was to get the chicken rustlers out of town. People out there absconding chickens, right? Of course, speeding was a huge issue, right? Fellow was ripping down the road at 30 miles an hour. Well, the speed limit is 15. We're not putting up with that nonsense, especially now that the roads are paved. So I hopped on my motor scooter and we got in a little gunfight, but you know, you're speeding. What are you gonna do? And we had a little bit of arson. This one group. Let me tell you, here is their scam, right? They would take a mannequin and they would dress it up as a woman in distress. I don't know how they did that. Maybe they're like waving the mannequin around. Folks would stop to help the woman, the damsel in distress, and then they'd mug them. Well, we ran them out of town, rest assured. You can sleep tonight. They're gone. 1920. I was just a young guy back then. Had served a little bit of time in the Great War, or World War I, as I suppose you folks would say. And spent a little bit of time in Rochester. When I came here, one of the first things I did was I established a kind of a slick, high-tech system of red lights, 2 of them downtown. And if you were to call in on that newfangled thing, what's it called? Thank you, telephone. If you were to call it in, the switchboard operator would turn on those red lights, and me on patrol, I'd know that there was trouble. So I didn't have the radio or anything, but I'd run around and I don't know what I did, but somehow I'd keep my eyes open looking for trouble because the red light was flashing, right? But who do you suppose was the worst group? Who do you suppose gave me the most trouble? We're talking early 1920s. Early 1920s. Yeah, the bootleggers. The bootleggers. Yeah, Palmyra had its share. Boy, I kind of got shot. I guess you guys call it drive-by shooting now, but one of these bootleggers grazed my cheek with a shot. Another lady got mad and tried to smash me over the head with a giggle juice bottle. So Palmyra it's a pretty rough community. In 2 years, I went from night watchman to chief of police. That's not bad. That's not bad. But I kind of met my demise not too long after that. 1923, I was off duty, and one of these bootleggers was in the Canandaigua jail asking if I would visit. So I said, okay. I went over there, and you know, it being a Sunday, he made me a cup of tea, and we sat down, had a cup of tea. It was very civil. But I got home to my wife Alice that night. I wasn't feeling so hot. In fact, I felt pretty crappy, pardon my language. And within a couple of days, I was in the hospital. We called for the doctor. He suspected arsenic. Next thing you knew, I'm dead. Right? I'm buried over there somewhere. But before I died, I said to my mother, I said, well, you know, I knew one of these days they would get me, and they got me. And that's kind of the end of my story. I went from night watchman to chief of police to the grave in maybe 3 or 4 years. But I do feel like I made a positive impact on Palmyra during that time. We did reduce the crime rate. We did get those, you know, bootleggers a little bit more under control. And those chicken thieves, they never came back. So, yeah, I feel like I did a pretty good job.
You did great, Chief.
Thank you.
Great.
Well, now we're just loitering. All right, move along. Folks, move along.
how dreadful. I hope that's not an air raid. Good evening, folks.
Good
Do you know, it was an evening not unlike this that I received a telegram from the celebrated playwright George Bernard Shaw. The telegram read, "New play opening tonight, Mr. Churchill. Please attend, and 2 tickets waiting for you at the box office, and bring a friend, if you have one." To which I replied, "Sorry, Shaw, can't come opening night, will come second night, if you have one." Allow me to introduce myself. Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill, at your service. No, I'm not in residence here. But I've had ancestors. My mother, the remarkable Jenny Jerome, was from Brooklyn, New York, and her parents, Leonard Jerome and Clara Hall, were married here in Palmyra at the Western Presbyterian Church in 1849. Leonard's Clara's parents, Leonard was a lawyer, financier, who started his career in the law offices of his uncle Hiram Jerome, who lies just over here in this laneway. Clara Hall was the daughter of Ambrose Hall and Clarissa Wilcox Hall, whose grave lies just beyond the trees here, as I've depicted in this painting. Their daughter, Clara, married Leonard Jerome. They moved the family to New York, and Jenny and her mother went to Europe, and on an occasion in the Isle of Wight, met my father, Lord Randolph. In April 1874, they were married. I was born about 7 months later. I couldn't wait to get started on life, and apparently my parents couldn't wait either. In the past, I've visited and I've regaled folks here with the tales of my ancestors and my own geopolitical CV. But this year, I understand we're talking about innovators and innovation. So I thought I might talk to you about some of the things that I was instrumental in the development. In 1915, I was the First Lord Admiral of the Admiralty, and I developed a committee called the Landship Committee. Now, what is a landship, you might ask? Well, what a landship is something today you might call a tank. 12 years earlier, one of my good friends, Bertie, had written a short story called The Land Ironclads. In it, he depicted a protagonist, a war correspondent in the Boer War, who was surveying a battlefield full of trenches and imagined a giant mechanical behemoth that could traverse the ground, transporting soldiers, riflemen, engineers, and a captain. In his book, in his short story, he described a giant beast of 80 to 100 feet long, carrying riflemen, semi-automatic weapons, a captain. I long suspected that Bertie had used me as the model for his protagonist because I had also spent time as a war correspondent in the Boer War in South Africa. One of Bertie's other books, I have always said, was one book I would take with me to purgatory. Now, excuse me, Bertie, my friend Bertie, his full name was Herbert George Wells, who you might remember as H.G. Wells, and that book was The Time Machine. During my first tenure as Prime Minister during World War II, I developed a scientific laboratory that had a staff of 250 men and women. My political opponents derisively called it Churchill's Toy Shop. And from this toy shop, things were developed. I wrote them down. Memory fades, don't you know? Some of the things that came out of this laboratory were delay fuses. fuses that could be delayed for up to a week to set off, of the type used by Colonel von Stauffenberg in the Valkyrie attempt on Herr Hitler's life. We had mobile tank bridges. The tanks were fitted with rockets that could fire a bridge over a void, and then the tank could cross the void on the bridge. We had delayed jumping bombs that were dropped in clusters behind enemy lines, and they could go off up to a week later. The enemy would never know when the bombs were going, rendering the land useless to them. We had, of course, incendiary bombs that would set things on fire. And one of my favorites, the castrator. These were tubes that were inserted into the ground with cartridges, and when they were walked over, they fired bullets straight up into a man's privies. But of course, probably the greatest invention that came out of the toy shop was what we called RDF, which what you Americans call radar. The inventor of radar, Robert Watson Watt, kindly said this about my contribution to science. The wisdom of Mr. Churchill in the development and the importance of science to national security is the true leitmotif in the drama of radar. In addition to scientific innovation, in 1953 I was also awarded a Nobel Prize, not as you might imagine, the Peace Prize, but the Prize for Literature. It is said, although I've never counted, that I wrote over 20 million words in my lifetime. But perhaps my greatest passion was for painting. I fancied myself a bit of an artist. I completed over 500 pictures. And I preferred plein air, as you see tonight, and landscapes. I rarely signed my paintings. I always wanted my art to be judged on its artistic merit, not on any perceived value of my autograph. And when I did rarely sign them, I usually simply signed them with a simple WSC in one of the corners, and sometimes I gave them away as gifts to friends. Well, if you will excuse me, I do need to get back to finishing my paintings. I've certainly enjoyed your company, and I understand you have some more people to visit tonight.
We do. Thank you.
Well, good evening, all of you.
Good evening.
My name is Ann Fuller Townsend Perrine. You may know my father. He was Reverend Jesse Townsend, but I'm not actually going to talk about him tonight to you. I'm going to talk about my husband Henry. Henry and I were married in 1822, and he was a brilliant man. He was a scientist, he was a teacher, professor, and just an all-around brilliant man. But unfortunately, he made a huge mistake. One of his very careless students left a glass of arsenic on the table, and he drank it. Needless to say, he did not regain his health the way he should have. And that is what brought us down to Florida, which is what I'm going to actually tell you about. I have something here for you, and it'll make sense once I tell my story. These are some key lime cookie bars. So if you would pass them along to everybody, that would be great. Or just pass them along to each other.
Hold the basket if you'd like. There you go. They are safe. Yeah, there's no
arsenic in them, I promise.
Just enjoy the treat.
I promise.
I'll make sure someone else eats it first.
So my husband Henry, because he was so ill, he tried to find different natural ways of regaining his health. So he became more of a horticulturist, and he tried to bring in a lot of exotic plants to the United States. And the best place he thought that would be in the Florida Key area. So he moved his family, myself and our 3 children down there. And we lived there. We had a beautiful home. We had a little community with growing our plants and our tea trees and limes, key limes. When an unfortunate thing happened, it was August 7th, and we heard a lot of ruckus outside in the middle of the night, We smelled smoke, and the Seminole Indians attacked our family and a few other houses in the area. So my husband hid us in the Turtle Keep, where we were safe. We were there till almost morning, and my husband got up, decided to go into the house and tried to talk with the Indians because he did have a good rapport with them. But unfortunately, they killed him as well. And the only thing that was found was his leg bone, which is buried right up there. Sad story, yes, but he did a lot of very amazing things besides key limes and tea tree oil. I was reading one of your periodicals, and it's amazing because I didn't know these things when I was alive, but he was actually credited with bringing Cecil hemp, sugarcane, pimento, sugar apple, sour sap, avocados, mangoes, bananas, oranges, grapefruit, and of course, the key limes.
Wow.
So,
That's impressive.
it's very impressive. My family did come back up here. My kids married and stayed in the area. I eventually died in 1876, so I did live quite a bit longer after my husband. I hope you enjoy your key lime bars. They are quite tart, but they're kind of like a lemon lime sort of blend there. But I hope you enjoy your evening. I want to thank you all for coming and visiting. And do say hello once in a while when you come, even though it's his leg bone. I know in spirit there's more of him here, so enjoy your evening. Thank you.
They are so dark.
Well, this is going to be a little more personal than I thought it would be.
Oh.
I'm terribly sorry. I was trying to come up and do this on a one-on-one, but now this seems a one-on-one on everyone.
Oh.
So, I found my treasure. I know where it is. I have to go off and get it.
Okay.
Right, but that does mean I have to be away for a while. And I'm terribly sorry, my dear. The treasure is far more important to me, so we need to end things.
Oh.
Yes, I mean, you are a little clingy.
I can't help myself.
And I know, it's not, it's all your fault. Yeah. It really is. Yeah, it's just pretty much just going to go find it, and leave you here.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
It's not me, it's you.
It's me. Definitely
All right. You're taking it so well. I'm impressed. I know you'll cry later.
I will.
You're holding up fantastically.
Thank you.
I'm sorry you all had to witness it.
Yeah. I'm heartbroken.
All right.
We'll help you.
All right. We'll keep space.
We're here for you.
Even more space. So my bubble is a big one.
Okay. Big space. Maybe we could turn the light on.
Good evening, friends.
Good evening.
Have you traveled far?
Oh, not too far, just the hill and yonder.
Perhaps you've come from Rochester, maybe to commission one of my select firearms, my handcrafted long rifles. I digress, though. My name is Stillman Jackson, sole proprietor and gunsmith. I was born in 1806, not far from here, and shortly after marrying the love of my wife, we moved here to Palmyra and settled. For about 25 years, I was the sole proprietor for a storefront shop right on Main Street, handcrafting precision firearms. Some of the finest in the area, write-ups in the newspapers, even the Wayne Sentinel just today. One of my customers wrote how impressive it was that such craftsmanship could be placed into something so simple and so handy. Everything from my pewter foregrips to the sculpted trigger guard with finger holds in it to better hold it. Double triggers. There's a set trigger and a hair trigger. Alas, the favorite thing that I can spend my time doing is crafting something so magnificent to sell for someone else to enjoy. 25 years I did that. But in 1855, I kind of had to put things aside and became the supervisor for the gas company. And while I was still doing that job, regular pay and decent hours, I still spent time doing my hobby. Handcrafting, all the metal work, all the etchings, so that my work could live on. How astonishing today, this rifle that I sold in my day for $12 US. Today I saw one listed, won't believe this, $1,800. I could have bought half of Palmyra with that much money in my day. But there it is, still a working piece. A testament to the amount of work that goes into making something. But alas, at the age of 63, I passed. But my loving wife, Olivia, she managed to go another 20 years past me and rest today. I won't hold you long as we're losing the light, so hopefully you can find your way along your path and continue on.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Good evening.
Hello there.
Hello, Miss Bullis. How are you? Oh my goodness, we have a little bit of a crowd to visit you tonight.
Well, I was very hoping I'd be gone before you guys all came.
I'm sorry.
I tried to steer away from these public events, but it's whatever. I feel it's appropriate for me to tell you about myself and my family. Me and my brother Charles grew up with 4 things. 1, get your money's worth. 2, never waste anything. 3, education is a lifelong process. And 4, be honest and help. My great-grandfather first moved here in 1837 from Vermont to Macedon, and he brought down those 4 things. Me and my brother Charles, we grew up with toys with an educational nature that my father got from his father, the local doctor, and went to Corning University in the early 1880s. He studied mathematics and civil engineering, and he liked to continue reading books on those subjects, which you can find in the Macedon Library here. And there's a little room with our family's name on it. Our father and grandfather would be very proud. Our house was built in 1837 and was built out of cobblestone, and it is located on Canandaigua Road in Macedon. And you can always see my brother Charlie's poppies every spring. I like to help out around the house with little chores, but as I decided to grow up, I decided to help out my father with surveying and taking notes to help him with some of his engineering drawings. I graduated high school as valedictorian of my class, not to brag, but I graduated in 1911 and continued with my education in Corning University and taught in Marion. And then I became a bookkeeper in Gleason Works. Then, before I retired, I was an assistant secretary at Gleason Works too. As you can see on my grave, I lived for 86 years, and I have spent most of my life in Macedon, but before death, I rest here in my family's plot in Palmyra, and it's a very
quiet and peaceful place to rest for eternity. Well, I've taken most of your guys' time. You should get along now.
I'm sorry we kept you waiting.
Oh, that's quite all right. I like the lights. Oh, okay. If you would like to. Hello, all. How's everybody tonight?
Good.
My name is Margaret Stevens. I was born April 2nd, 1880 in Maine. Eventually, my mother Clara and I moved to Palmyra, where we spent a significant portion of our lives. I was an only child, I didn't have any siblings, and I never married either. For most of my life, I taught high school Latin and algebra. However, in 1908, I taught 8th grade, and Sybil Phelps was one of my students. On November 2nd, 1918, I was the first Palmyra woman to cast a vote in an election. I was so very proud and grateful for that opportunity. Women's suffrage and the right to vote were very important to me. In the later years of my life, I helped care for my mother. She passed in 1918. We lived right here in Palmyra on Kyler Street, and how I loved that house. I wonder who lives there now, and I hope they love it just as much as I did. I died in Ithaca in 1963 at the age of 83. And today I'm buried in this beautiful Palmyra cemetery alongside my mother and stepfather. Well, it's time for me to be going. Thank you so much for coming. And I hear it's an election year. Always remember to vote. It's such a privilege.
This is greasy hands. Right now I've got Two-Chart Charlie watching it.
Who?
Two-Chart Charlie.
Two-Chart Charlie?
Yes, box.
Oh, wow.
He can't really walk, so we gotta carry him around. Who wants to see my treasure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see it too. The problem is it's in an enchanted box, so I'm gonna need some help. Who wants to volunteer? Oh my. All right, well, we'll take those two. Usually I go for the ones who don't raise their hands, but you look like you could be fun. We need to get 2 more people too. So that all those that didn't raise their hand, we're gonna find some. No one shaking their head. Look at that. Let's go with you, my dear.
Okay.
All right, let's go in this way. Oh,
It's too soon.
It's too soon, I know. But I'm going to give you a consolation prize for all. Oh, let's see. You're hiding. You know what's about to happen, so we're going to have to think you.
No, I didn't.
Come, my dear, come, my dear.
She's the mother of Giselle, so take her.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm so sorry, Giselle. I'm so sorry. I know it's the mother-in-law thing. She's going to hate me even more. All right. Oh, my lovely volunteers, come over here. All right. Who here plays an instrument? What do you play?
I play the flute.
You play the flute. And what do you play?
Clarinet.
Clarinet. Well, we're not going to do either one of those. I'm going to have you play the hurdy-gurdy. You know what that is? I'll need you to figure it out. You just stand right here. I'll give you a clue. It has a crank. All right. Can you try it real quick? Go for it. It's beautiful music, isn't it? It's so serene you can't even hear it. All right. Let's see. I'm going to save you for last. You go over here.
Oh, jeez.
Now, how are you?
She's giving you
with that? She's glaring at me. I told you she wouldn't like me. How are you on animal sounds?
A dog.
A dog.
A cat.
Fortunately, we're not going to do either one of those.
Oh, great.
We're going to do the sound of a pygmy possum.
That's my dog.
I'm not even sure if that's a real animal. All right, so You have fun with that one, all right? My dear, you come over right about here. Now I need you to go like this. All right? And when it's time, when I tell you, wiggle your fingers. The magic's going to come out of your fingers. Don't point them anywhere else. Don't set somebody on fire. And the most important person of the show. Have you seen this before?
No.
Oh, it's so good. You don't know what's about to happen. I need you to dance like a monkey. All right? So on the count of 3, we're going to try to get this chest open. All right? You all know your parts. What are you?
I'm great.
You're the hurdy-gurdy.
He knows what it is. Please go with that. And what are you, my dear?
Pygmy possum.
Perfect. And you?
And
Don't! You get it right out of me.
I dance like a monkey.
And you dance like a monkey. Do well, sir. All right, are you ready? I shall back over here. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Something happening? Oh no! Stop! Oh, sorry, Charlie. Well, now he's thrice charred, Charlie. Well, it was the wrong chest. I think his was the chanted one. It might not even be locked. Let's check. Oh, there's not even a lock on it. Look, there's the treasure, everyone.
Oh, wow.
How you take it, I shoot you. All right. Now, feel free to go find your family or find a new one.